Hey guys, how's it going? Elliot here again, and in today's video we are going to be doing a Let's Refurb on something that I definitely haven't done before. A lot of the time I'll do Let's Refurbs on Game Boys. I'm going to be doing a video very soon on this little thing, which is hopefully going to be a case of RetroBrighting it, although I've had a couple of people say potentially you're not going to be able to RetroBright this because the RetroBright that I use is like a hair salon cream with hydrogen peroxide in it. It's called cream peroxide, which is essentially a bleach. So I'm not sure how this is going to work, but obviously that's its original color. So it's got a long way to go, but we're going to give it a try anyway for the sake of science. Although I'm confident that what is in here is going to be able to be RetroBrighted, or RetroBrightened, should I say. So let's open it up. It's a package from Japan for You, which is a place I order from quite a lot. They recently banned me on my main eBay account, which is quite funny. I basically just asked them if they can like combine the shipping costs because I was ordering like 5 or 6 things or something, but they took it really offensively, and they sent me my items. They only gave me about a £3 or £4 discount over ordering 5 items or something. And then they banned me on my account, so I wasn't able to buy anything else there. So it's quite funny. Japan For You are a really good store. They always have like a wide range of inventory of retro consoles and accessories. So I was quite upset. Anyway, as you guys can see from this right here and the thumbnail and probably the title, I have ordered an AV Famicom controller. Now these are quite rare. They're not like super rare, but they're definitely not like the most common of things. But I really like their look, so that's why I ordered one, and also because it's something different to RetroBright, which is I think quite fun. They even give me a little elastic band. Now they have told me that this doesn't work. The cable is in really nice condition. You can see there the end doesn't look too scratched, which is usually a good indicator that this isn't like massively like it's not being used too much. Of course you can see, however, that it has decolored quite considerably and is like quite a yellow color. It's your real typical aged look, but it's basically just from the I don't know if I've ever explained it on my channel. It's probably because I don't actually know it and I've just kind of memorized it, but basically there's a chemical inside this plastic which is a flame retardant chemical. I believe it's called bromide or bromine or something. And that reacts with the UV light. So the flame retardant material is obviously so that when it burns, it doesn't kind of combust, it just melts. And that reacts with UV light and goes yellow. And as you can see, it's done that quite a lot. The front is slightly worse than the back because it's probably left like this out on a windowsill or something. But my God, is this thing an awesome design. It looks quite a lot like a dog bone. That's kind of like its nickname that it kind of got. It's the dog bone controller. But I really like the red buttons. I think it just looks really nice. The D-pad as well is really big, and the start and select buttons. It just feels extremely ergonomically comfortable. So I'm really excited to do this. So the first thing we're going to do, of course, is take the whole thing apart and clean it out, because that's what you've got to make sure that you do. I'm going to leave that on for just convenience sake. That's the first thing you do when you need to RetroBright anything. The plastic needs to be completely cleared and cleaned before you do RetroBright anything. And then after that, we're going to stick some hydrogen peroxide on it, put it in a nail UV lamp, and then hopefully we'll get it working again. So interestingly, they've got Phillip screws on here, which is not actually something you see quite a lot on Nintendo products, but they've gone a little bit rusty, so we're going to probably have to get like the wire brush out and scrub them down. But other than that, it looks really nice. Family computer controller. Another thing is, as well, as it says that it doesn't work. It said that it didn't work on the listing. Oh, and also I believe it was $11 shipped. And thank you very much to Matthew Lowe for sending me a link to this. So yeah, right, without any further ado, let's crack it open. and that is everything taken apart. For those of you who are interested, here is a DMG Game Boy D-pad, and here is the D-pad from the Famicom AV controller. As you can see, it's a little bit bigger, but still quite similar. In fact, on the Game Boy Pocket as well, you'll notice that they've kind of kept that arrow design. It looks really, really small next to the one from the Famicom controller. But there we go. Everything is absolutely taken apart. You saw before that it's quite disgusting. It definitely needs a clean, but I'm going to enjoy cleaning that off, and it's going to look absolutely amazing when it's cleaned up. So I just want you guys to remember the kind of yellow that this looks like. You can see it in contrast to my white desk, just how yellow it really, really is. And you can kind of also see there from the inside. So it's going to be probably whiter than that, I would say, once this process is finished. But let's go ahead and chuck this all in the sink and give it a nice clean. Right, well, whilst that is actually doing its chemical thing, I went ahead and cleaned all of the contacts so that when the thing is actually ready, we can go ahead and put it back together and everything is nice and clean. In the listing, it said that it didn't work. Now, a very common thing with this method of actual button press, as opposed to having like little switches, this is basically a conductive material, this little black piece right here. And what essentially happens, and I'm going to draw it out on a piece of paper in a minute, because here on the Retro Future we have the best CGI, so we were able to really raise the budget and get some paper to draw it out. Now, basically what you'll see is there's a little pad here. So there's two parts of this pad. The buttons over here are slightly different. There's I think there's like 4 pieces, but just to keep things really simple, there's basically 2 pads and then this black contact. Now, so let's say we've got our pad. So the pad looks something like this. So this is the pad that's on the actual controller itself. Let's just say the controller PCB looks like this. Now, this little circle comes down. Now, I'm not going to be able to draw this in a 3-dimensional space, but let's just say this is our 3D pad. Oh my god. Right? Now, when this presses down against here, it basically just bridges this part in the middle, and then the current runs through, and then you have your button press. And obviously when that lifts up, this breaks again, and then you no longer have your button press. I hope that makes sense. My drawing skills aren't the best, but now in order to fix this, you can also use this same piece of paper. This piece of paper is going to resolve our problems. So you take this little piece of what is essentially rubber, and all you're going to do is just press this tiny little piece of rubber against the paper and draw a line like that. Now, what will eventually start to actually happen is it will no longer have the shiny surface. So I'm going to go ahead and do this to all of these little pads here, and then by then our first piece of the shell shall be done. At this point, everything is looking a lot whiter, to say the least. I don't know if you guys can see the difference without having to actually compare it side by side, but if I do try and put it side by side, I don't know if this is going to work. You can definitely see it's come a long way and it looks absolutely stunning. You guys will remember when I first started comparing the insides to the outside, you could really see just how yellow it had really gone over the years. And now it's not absolutely perfect. It's a very time-consuming process, and I really want to start doing the filming for this one as well, and to see if this actually starts actually making a difference with a Game Boy Color, because it's slightly different plastic and whatnot. Obviously, all the buttons are now cleaned up as well, so we're going to go ahead and assemble the game controller. I almost said Game Boy there. I'm so used to doing Game Boys. Going to go ahead and assemble it back together and give it a test, and it's probably going to look absolutely amazing. How do I put this back together? That's the real question here. Probably something like this. That definitely looks like it wraps around in there somehow. Like that. Yeah, that'll do, that'll do. Right, and then we whack this back on the top and then screw it back in. Alright, and now for the moment of truth, let's turn it over. Wow, would you look at that? It looks just so good. I absolutely love these controllers, they just look absolutely amazing. I also bleached these start and select buttons as well, so now they look a little bit grayer as well. But oh my god, am I happy with that. What a successful video. I really hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like, and if you're new to the channel, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.